ad tech vendors were among the early adopters of machine learning, using it to help marketers optimize campaigns. Today, social media platforms use AI to help build creative and identify lookalike audiences. But there's a number of uses of AI in the advertising ecosystem you might be less familiar with. And today, we're going to talk about them with Karim Rayes, CPO at Nexxen. Welcome to Conversations with MarTech. This episode of Conversations with MarTech is brought to you by SEMrush. Meet your unfair advantage. There's a new SEMrush uniting search and AI discovery into one powerful marketing growth engine, delivering richer data, more keywords, deeper AI insights, and prioritized next steps. With SEMrush, you can turn total brand visibility into coordinated action. Get a 14-day free trial and a discount code. Visit martech.org/SEMrush-coupon or scan the QR code.
Hi, I'm Karim Rayes. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Nexxen, where I manage our product strategy and development teams, as well as our data vendors and partnership teams. So Nexxen is a full funnel performance advertising platform powered by unique data and media. This includes unique data we have on TV around TV signals. We operate a supply and demand platform unified by a data platform. We work closely with brands, agencies, publishers. CTV and video is really our largest format and area of focus. We are heavy on data strategy and data collaboration, and pleasure to be here today.
All right. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to talk a little bit about AI in the advertising ecosystem coming up, but let's start with, there's a lot of talk and maybe just as much confusion about AI agents these days.
Yeah.
Agents in the workplace and in commerce. When we talk about the agentic web, what are we really talking about?
Yeah, I think a simple way to look at it is the agentic web is a web where AI agents instead of humans interact with websites, various data sets across the webs to accomplish tasks for the users. So this can go from a simple information gathering to a full summary analysis across multiple topics and to perform actions on behalf of users as well. I think in general, it's a fundamental shift in how we interact with the web. If we look at specifically at ad tech and MarTech, we've seen a lot of these agents built within companies' tech stacks, again, like around the same teams and topics, right? Gathering information, automatic tasks, and so on. So big fundamental shift, and again, on, web and where we're going. I think we're going to see a lot of disruptions over the years, through this new agentic web.
All right, so let's dig into AI in the advertising ecosystem. Where are companies capitalizing today on AI in the advertising ecosystem? And maybe more importantly, how do you think that's going to change in the next few years?
Yeah, we've seen multiple point solutions being built, powered by one or multiple AI agents. So these are typically AI assistants that help, enhance planning, campaign activation and management, create automation as well around reporting and insights. So far, I would say the primary push has been, I'll call it intercompany solutions, meaning agents interacting directly with that company's tech stack, or off-the-shelf AI solutions, around licensing from vendors and so on, like helping power the solutions within tech stacks. And I think as companies launch and scale their AI solution, what I expect to see is a lot more agent-to-agent collaboration in the coming year. Even this year, we'll see a lot of that. Or even partner agents tapping into platform APIs to pull informations and insights and signals really not available natively in their platform. So I think it's also a great opportunity in general for publishers to share some of these signals with marketers. We'll see a lot more of that going on as well as things evolve.
Yeah, the agent-to-agent stuff, there was a lot of talk about it on the consumer side ahead of the holiday season about agents, having agents reach out and buy stuff on your behalf and find products. It makes sense too. In the advertising ecosystem, there's so much back and forth. Like, what data do you have? How could we use it?
Right, exactly.
A lot of that gets slowed down now because it's somewhat manual work.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of, I think there's been a data rat race going on as people are trying to gather data to feed their, their AI solutions, their analytics solutions, and so on. think there's a limitation in that at the end of the day. Like we not all data can be shared across all platforms at scale. So this collaboration enables us to essentially share information, share insights without having to share all of that raw data. So it really can open up collaborations between companies.
We've all seen how AI is used in some of the big platforms. All of the social platforms use AI to help you optimize your campaign, even build your creative. There's a lot less to do. What's the use of AI in advertising that maybe doesn't get talked about quite so often?
Yeah, I think we've seen, multiple solutions, as you said, and ourselves, we've developed many tools, streamlining campaign management, providing rapid insights, QA automation to reduce mistakes, debugging tools, and so on. I think what's not being talked about, and where I see the biggest opportunity really, is around audience research, insights, essentially information gathering to lead to better activation strategies. And that's what I think we see in our day-to-day. The reality is that machine learning has been around for a long time in ad tech. Well over a decade, we've been investing in these tools. So when it comes to performance efficiency in the campaigns, I think that problem is mostly solved. I think these tools that have been built and been talked about so far around efficiency and all that are great. They help people streamline their jobs, get more done, make less mistakes. But I think when we look at raw performance and how can the marketer's dollar go further, I think it really comes down to leveraging AI around this audience research and insight. It's a big investment for us as a business. We have this tool we call Nexxen Discovery, and we built an AI agent on top of that. So think of that as a audience profiler, where we take consumer data, we take our TV data, we take data from our brands and customers as well, and we come back with insights and opportunities around who to target, when to target them, where to target them. And agents really make that easier, right? Like this used to be, and there's analysts out there and researchers and planners that do a great job. They're ultimately limited by the data they have on hand. We talked about that earlier. And I think this is really an opportunity to open that up and to take multiple disparate data sets, bring them together to do better planning. I think the most efficiency we'll see is before the first dollar is ever spent.
Interesting. I think I hear a lot about the great things that AI is doing inside organizations, but when I hear about struggles, they always seem to be like within workflows at sort of these intersections. Yep. AI can get part of the job done, but then it kind of gets hung up and a human has to step in. Are we gonna see more complete AI ecosystems in like the coming year or two? And what needs to happen to make that a reality?
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, I agree with that sentiment. In the end, AI agents are only as good as the data they train on. For us as Nexxen, like we invested a lot in our data platform, building a relationship that gives us access to these data assets to help AI do a better job. But I think also, unification of the solutions in the platform is important as well. So do you have the right publisher signal, data signal, demand side signals to have that holistic answer? But I think beyond this, I don't see human intervention as an issue. I think we talk a lot about full automation and taking over the tasks from people. But I think, we have great people in MarTech, AdTech that, have a lot of expertise. And ultimately what we're aiming to do is enhance their capabilities and enhance their ability to do their job, not to completely replace humans. So I think there's always going to be value in some human intervention, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and it also helps with that data quality part to have a human look at stuff. We've talked to a lot of guests on this show about data quality, and like the example we always hear is if you've got bad data and you've got an agent out talking to your customer, you don't know what the agent is saying to the customer because it's built on a foundation of bad data. In advertising, built on a foundation of bad data means what? You're not reaching the right people. You're not giving the right message to the right people, right?
Exactly. And again, I think, there's data in our platform that is not available to the marketer in their platform and vice versa. So I think it's a question of being able to tap into all of that data across the ecosystem efficiently for AIs to improve over time. we've seen the core LLM models get better over time as well. There's inconsistencies in some of the answers and so on as well, that we're seeing less and less of that. That innovation is moving quickly. But again, as you said, it really comes down to what data are you training on? What information does the agent even have to provide those answers? And is this the right information or the information you want to convey to your customers?
Right. Karim Rayes, he's the Chief Product Officer at Nexxen. Thanks for joining us on Conversations with MarTech.
Thank you for having me.